Welcome to OpenFlame 1.3. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to build a basic application using the OpenFlame domain manager. And we're going to declare a bunch of objects, organize them, and then deploy a working application as quickly as we can. The first step is to log in as an administrator, which will bring you into the OpenFlame domain manager. And the second step is to define what we call a root domain. A root domain just really declares the company or the organization. In this case, coolmovies.com. We're going to save that, and this becomes the home for all of our applications. And then the next thing we're going to do is declare a package, which is our deployable unit. The package can actually be moved from place to place. We're going to call this the movies DB. And if you come into resource access, you'll see that we can choose a naming prefix, which allows all the data in this application to be structured so that it has a prefix in it, so it won't conflict with other applications. All right, so once we're inside the package, we're also going to create two domains, one called movies, this will also get a naming prefix so that you can separate data within the package or within an application. When we generate the database structures, it'll actually use these in the table names so that you can see the differences between certain areas of your application. And we're going to create another one called people. And then within each domain, we're going to create some entities. First, we're going to create an entity called film, which becomes kind of the core. And you'll see that the services for films will be based on the structure here, the package name, the domain name, and then the object name, and we can organize all of our REST services that get generated this way. The server name and the port number won't be available until after we associate the package with a real server. But now we're going to sit in and define our fields. So a film is going to have a title. It's also going to have a release date. And the display name and the display description actually show up in the application after it's generated. And these data types describe what they are, but they tell us how to both render the application and how to generate the data structures that are needed to store these objects. So we're going to save films. I'm going to create another object called a genre. And these are just going to have names and descriptions. And then I'm going to actually relate genres to films. And if you see here, we can see that we've got create, delete, read, read all, search, and update automatically generated for both of our objects. So these actions are already automatically supported. And now we're going to tell films that they're related to genres, and you can see that relationship gets a unique lookup. And we're going to make this an association so that there can be many, and we're going to drag the genre object in as the target. And because we created this as the child, the source entity is automatically a film. We'll save this, and now we've created that relationship. The example project has actors and directors as well, so I'm going to add just actors. And we're going to go ahead and then I'm going to add in a gender, or and we're going to call this a label. Say it's required. So we're going to give it a default of actor. And then we're going to add allowable values, actor and actress. Okay, and we're going to save this. We can see we added actor, and now we can perform all these actions on actors. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and associate actors with this film. Again, we're going to make it an association so that there can be many. And we're going to drag the actor in as the target entity and save. So we have a basic application ready to go now with some basic objects. The next step is to come into the package, come to version details, and generate the code. And this is actually going to generate all the source code, build the web application, package up all the metadata for this application, and get it ready to go. The build takes a few minutes. Part of what it does is it actually builds a working web application that can be deployed. And then we're going to define a project. We're going to define a server and move the project there. Okay, so this package is ready. We can go ahead and close this. We're going to define a new system called web.coolmovies.com. This is the main application server. We're going to come into resource access, and we're going to set this to web.fivejack.net. Test the resource, save it, and then under that we're going to create a database which we're going to call the MovieDB. And this is going to be the same database. We're going to have to change the server name to localhost for now. We're going to give it another database name, which will get created for us. And then we can test this resource, and it'll show up active. We save. And now we're ready to just drag the package onto the server, onto the system. We can open up the system again, come to associated packages, hit install, select the database, hit deploy with create database and push install. And you'll see that the log shows that we unpackaged everything, created the tables, deployed the application, and it's ready. And so now we should be able to actually look at our package and see where it's deployed under resource access. And we can see here it's deployed right here. The server name is now populated. And I should be able to cut and paste this URL directly into a web browser. And see our application. And you can see if I browse into films, it'll actually let me see lists of films. I can hit add a film and all of my descriptions show up. It lets me choose an actor if there are any, or choose genres, which there aren't any right now, but it automatically associated those objects with the film. And my application is ready to run. And that is basic application building in OpenFlame 1.3.